So we are live here on Heart to Heart, and let's say welcome to Heart with Eva and my beautiful guest Nicole Espinosa Stavro.
I, I love you, girl. Mm.
Yeah, thank you. I love you, and I'm so blessed that you took time to join me here live to talk about your amazing life. Because to me, I think it's just so amazing. And before we start to talk, I would like to say that we have a topic that we should talk about, and that is sharing our beauty and wisdom as we launch into being seen, heard, and loved. And that is a pretty broad topic, and that is a topic chosen by you, Nicole. So I can't wait to find out what is actually in that concept of that sentence. So, welcome, Nicole, once again.
Thank you so much, Eva.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for what you do. You bring us all together and you help give us our voice and get it out there.
I,
And really, this topic of sharing, stepping into more of a sharing of our gifts and wisdom and beauty, uh, past what we are probably comfortable with. I feel us expanding and this incredible energy that
Mhm.
we are growing out of, that we are enduring. I actually feel like sometimes it's a ping pong match and we're the little ping pongs going from 3D to 5D to 3D to 5D and dealing with the heavier energies that come up to be loved and released. And then we feel possibly some bliss energy after that. And then we think, oh, yeah, I get a breath. And then it's back to the other side. But it's also beautiful how we are working together to get through this. And I really feel of bringing us together. I have some beautiful little WhatsApp chat groups that we connect every day, every
Oh,
day, and sometimes throughout the day. And our beautiful friend Maureen is who brought me to you. And
yeah, she's a
we,
blessing.
she is a blessing, and we connect every day. And really, I feel to get through some of these heavier energies, to reach out to other beautiful souls, to help fill your sails and uh, expand. It
Hmm.
really is a beautiful process, what we're going through. And we chose to be here on earth at this incredible time in history. What a blessing it is.
It is, and we do. You actually put the finger right on the point that we choose to be here, and that is a reminder to everybody. Like, we are perfect creations already, and we are here in this environment wherever we are, and it's just time to step into that divine role.
Yes, it is. And I'm feeling we are getting astrological support in that right now to step further into our gifts, to share them. It was okay. I'm going to tell you how it happened for me. And first, I want to share with you where I am. I'm in
Please
Huntington
do.
Beach, California, and this is one of my favorite trees. She's embracing me, and I'm passing that love on to you. And I feel us working with Gaia in such a beautiful way that we are her, she is us, and we are helping her ascend
Hmm.
as we ascend with her. So the whole process is so magical. And
Yeah.
us, it's just a matter of peeling the layers away and unlearning some of the things that we've learned possibly in school, through society. It's coming back home to the heart. And I feel that's what this whole journey is for humanity.
To
And
drop back into your heart.
to drop back into the heart.
Mm.
And it happened for me this lunar eclipse. Woo, what a doozy, baby.
Yeah, and I'm looking so. Oh, you got a squirrel behind you.
I have a little baby. I have
Oh,
ducks around here too. They're
yeah,
giving you all love.
yeah, yeah. I'm so curious about to hear what happened to you because I took a sneak peek on your Facebook page, and
Yes.
before we get in it deeper, I just want to say I took a time the other day and just scrolled down your Facebook and and gave some reflection to who is Nicole from my
Oh.
point of view, and and everybody knows that you're a multidimensional being, of course, because you're everywhere there, and but a time traveler. I got time traveler.
Yes. Yes, I feel that to my core.
Yeah, well,
I
that's good.
I I feel us dancing through the portals, going back and forth, and I live my life on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an adventure motorcyclist, and it's the only mode of transportation that I have. And it really sums up my personality quite well for me. And that's independence and freedom and joy and laughter and spreading the love. I just adore humanity. And I really feel this journey of seeing beauty in all. And that includes dark, light, everything in between. I feel it's more gray, and that we all have shadows, and that it's nothing to be afraid of. And in fact, it's something to truly embrace. And I went on my motorcycle on a trip in October to Santa Fe,
Yeah.
and our beautiful friend Mare lives there too. And it was my first time there. And I was going to visit my friend Carol, who's building community there, spent 3 years building it in the foothills of Santa Fe. And my whole trip was about building community because that's what I want to do in a place called Borrego Springs, California. And
Are you
there
located in California?
I am in Southern
That's your
California,
base?
in Huntington Beach.
Okay, yeah.
And Borrego Springs is east of San Diego in a desert community. But when I was in Santa Fe and I could feel the energies, wherever I go, that's sacred land, I feel both sides, the polarities. And when I was meditating on a rock, I got a vision that was given to me that it is a car battery. Imagine a car battery, both polarities,
Mm-hmm.
negative and positive. Now, we don't judge, oh, this is the good side of the battery, this is the bad side of the battery. We need both to charge,
We do.
to run juice through it. And I can feel in, and I've been chosen to go to specific areas. And this is something that I wanted to bring up for everyone, that we may be called to specific areas and we might not know why we're there, but we are there for a much bigger reason than we
Yeah.
really are consciously aware.
I would totally agree with you. I think so too. I think you're drawn to certain places, and when you are there, your energy will anchor in, and you will either open up a portal or closing it down. And for every reason, there is something that is clearing in that moment. Divinely
So,
done.
so true. It's so true. And what's interesting is the places that I have been taken to, and I always listen to my messages of, okay, it's time to go. Okay. I'm actually in between homes right now, and I'm living with my ex-husband, Pablo, and my son, Dimitri. Our daughter, Alana, is already in Hawaii doing her work in university, but uh, I, I'm finishing up a chapter for family right now. And I bet many others are going through the same thing. And I'm going to tie this in with the lunar eclipse because for me, it was healing major ancestral lineage. And it took me back to this life in particular. I had actually asked out loud, please, I need help to release blocks to flow, blocks to abundance. And
Mm.
then my beautiful friend Ingrid reached out to me on WhatsApp and said, I was feeling the lunar eclipse energy that was so dense for me that one day. And I'm Gemini, so I'm all about duality and polarity and balance and and we're hitting the Gemini new moon the end of this month, which is so exciting. But we'll talk about the lunar eclipse first, because I feel that was the release, so we can jump into the new beginnings. And she says, I feel this rage in you. And she connected it to my father. And I said, I don't feel that. But then she helped me uncover a memory, and where at 7 through 11, I was feeling an absence of my father emotionally. And then I witnessed something at age 11 that I shouldn't have seen. And I carried that with me. I knew it was something I shouldn't have seen, and I wanted to protect my mother and the rest of my family. So I shut it in and I carried it with me until I was an adult. And so this is the thing. Now this is just this life. Now we multiply that for many other lifetimes, and this is what we are releasing now. And people wonder, oh my gosh, I can't even get out of bed. Why is this so difficult? This is the beauty of getting help from these energies that are hitting the planet now, the solar activity and galactic help. We are releasing this heaviness, personal heaviness, as well as collective, so that we can hold more light. And we are stepping into beautiful, lighter energy that, we can feel. Maybe not on a daily basis, it's full size, but once we do release a lot of that density, then we feel lighter. And that's what I feel. That was my lunar eclipse. And it was interesting? That was on the heels. I was pulled to go on a fruit cleanse for a full week right before that.
We're going to talk about that too.
Yes, right before that. And so I listen, and I've done that before. I did it last year for about a month. But what was interesting about that is, after I finished that week-long cleanse, which it heals the entire body, it absolutely heals your body, and you feel so much lighter and you have more clarity. But it brought me to the lunar eclipse. And I absolutely was craving pizza right after that. And
That's a contrast to
I
fruit.
know, and I was picking up a pizza for my son, and he came to me afterwards. He calls me Madre. He says, Madre, I can't finish it. I said, I'm going to help you with that, baby. And I think it's important to listen without judgment.
Yeah.
So allow these messages to come through. My body needed to anchor in the density that was coming up.
Yeah.
So I actually felt, and this happened to me last year as well. After the fruit cleanse, I was craving heavy carbs, and it was particularly breads and cheeses. And what was interesting, it hit me like a ton of bricks when I was in the kitchen one night after that, and I was making a quesadilla or nachos or something like that. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And that was anchoring in the body, like it was literally the body. And it was bread is the bones, or the crackers is the bones, and the cheese is the flesh. I don't know. It just hit me like that. And I allow these visions to come through without judgment. And I know everyone is on their own journey for food. Food is a beautiful human experience. And I have heard from those beyond who channel those on the other side. The one thing they say that they miss about the human experience is the eating process.
Yeah.
And I think finding joy in food and allowing ourselves to find joy in food is a beautiful thing. And I love going out to dinner with my beautiful friends, my tribe. And it's wonderful for us to touch base in the flesh. Now, these Zooms are magnificent where I get to connect with you in Sweden.
Yeah,
That is just miraculous that it's bringing us all together.
I love
And
technology.
it's so beautiful. It really is.
And I think it's so wonderful that you brought up this fruit cleansing that you did, because that is also in time. And as you said, everybody has their own path and their own relationship to food, etc. And what's good for one person, it may not be good for another. But moving beyond that, it is a time to cleanse. And as well as we are releasing the heavy density that is stuck within this reality and the lineage back, food is actually helping. And a lot of us has been craving another type of diet lately. And I think it's important that you brought that up, that
Mhm.
if you suddenly have a change of heart when it comes to something to eat, like a cravings for something, I was craving. I was actually craving fruit last night, and thought of
Mm.
you and your fruit cleansing, and yeah, but sometimes you actually have to dive into those energies, because that will help to cleanse something that is stuck within you. So food actually helps to cleanse or to keep and preserve what's in your physical body and your etherical body. So it's very important. Yeah. And as you
So,
said,
so true.
yeah,
And
it let
I particularly crave watermelon.
oh
And
yeah,
I'm
that is a
blessed
good
to
one.
have that in this area.
Uh,
And I am being pulled to start gardening, to planting my own food. And it's the first for me. I don't have any experience, and thanks to YouTube, we can learn from each other. And so I'm building a DIY, do it yourself, planter, garden bed planter out of pallets to make it affordable. So I'm going to be putting that on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel so
yes,
that I can share that with others. And I
yeah.
just started, I put an avocado pit in water and I'm growing that. So just, baby steps for us to step more into our gifts and our power. I know it might be daunting to see someone who has a YouTube channel who's making money off of it and they can support themselves through it. And then someone can look at themselves and says, I don't even want to share my image on video, let alone start a YouTube channel. So it's whatever we are drawn to. And Eva, I have to thank you, baby, because it's you who is helping other light workers to put their little toes in the water, to get familiar with Zoom. And, thanks to COVID, that also helped us as
Oh
well.
yeah.
Such a blessing in many regards. And so people getting used to the technology and whatever their gifts are. So if we do healing work or we want to share our beauty of writing, which I am launching into now as well. I post on Facebook because I was doing a lot of my writing in my posts, which I love to share my writing that way. And my friend Miriam, who lives in Egypt, she said, I want to give you a reading, an oracle card reading. Will you accept? And I said, oh my gosh, what a gift. Thank you. And this is another thing, to say yes to the gifts, yes to the opportunities, even if some opportunity is something that scares us, that makes us expand a little bit too quickly for our comfort, but to trust that the timing is right and that our higher self, is going to help us show up in all our glory. To
Yeah.
trust that, to trust that. And so Miriam gave me this incredible reading where she said she was pulling up cards that was supporting that. And she said that how last year her guides had said to her, it's time for you to write a book. It's time for you to write a book. She said, well, how am I going to support myself? And so they did. And I said, well, I'm a writer too. Well, it's your time. And years ago, it was in 2012. It was in 2012 when I was meditating up on this mountain in Glendale, California, by Pasadena. I saw a vision very clearly that I would be writing a screenplay. And I was channeling it. So I was doing it rather quickly. And I said, well, am I supposed to write a novel or a screenplay? She said, screenplay. I said, thank you for the confirmation, because I feel that too. So
And you
I'm in,
did.
I'm into that process. So it's coming through now, and I'm writing it, and
Yeah.
I'm allowing. So it's interesting about stepping into our gifts
Mm.
as we traverse these energies, because one moment we might be channeling pure gold, and then the next day density is coming up and we don't feel like sharing our beauty at that time, and that's okay.
And it
That's
makes
okay.
you
Just
feel so good when you're just following the energy. So I love the concept of saying yes to whatever is presented in your life, because everybody, oh not everybody, but most people are sitting around or reflecting or wanting and wishing for some changes in their lives and to be able to move on. And then there is a opportunity presenting itself in front of them, and this wall of fear to step over that is taking over, and instead of saying yes, they are saying no, not this time, and you're limiting yourself. And I love this energy of just saying yes. I will
yes.
try that. Yes.
Yes. And that even means, and it especially means, the rest. And that's what I was saying to, even when I first arrived here, that I came to this park to share it with everyone, specifically this tree and me sitting next to it. But then I thought, I need to gift that to myself more often. And it's interesting because, and like you say, it's so profound, saying not only yes to the big opportunities that come to us, but saying yes to no, saying yes to no.
Yeah.
So saying yes to, I need to rest today. I can't show up to this appointment that I promised someone because I don't have it in me, and it's okay. It's
Equal
okay to say
moments.
no. It's
Yeah.
okay to say no, which is really saying yes to yourself, right?
Yeah. That is also important to address, that you can't go on and say yes to everything, because that will probably drain you. But
Yes.
yeah, but what you are accepting now is the possibility of moving forward with an energy that is presenting itself. And I read a post the other day that says, if you don't know which way to go, it doesn't matter which way you take. And to me, that is a beautiful reminder that if you don't know what to do, don't say no to the opportunity that opens up. Just go with the flow and see what's happening, and at least you can rest and say, I did that, I tried it out. And if it works out, perfect. If it doesn't, you're an experience richer.
That's exactly right. And even if it doesn't work out at the time, this is something that you've expanded into, and it sits within you until you are ready for it,
Mm,
possibly. And
yeah.
people do arrive, and opportunities do arrive when the time is right. And
Yeah.
it's funny, you triggered something in me where expectations sometimes get in the way for us, right? I see visions outside of time, and my beautiful little conscious mind always likes to put a time frame to it, like, oh, this is happening tomorrow, which has happened a lot over the ascension process for a lot of light workers,
Mm-hmm.
where uh, we've listened to someone else channel, and they put a prediction to it, and we attach to the time frame, and then the time frame comes and goes, and some people get disheartened, and I feel that disappointment is unmet expectations.
Yeah.
So when we have these expectations and they don't come to fruition, some people lose heart in it, and then maybe stop losing faith in it and
Mm.
lose hope. And and I feel that it is so important for us to come together now to fill each other's sails, with hope and excitement with what we are creating. And what's so amazing is that we are these creators who create our reality.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize that. And you know, they allow the default to come through. And they just live in the day-to-day kind of hamster wheel that they can't seem to find their way out of. But I feel that more and more of us are able to reach these people. Really, it's just, for me, it's through love. And I'm delivering food right now on my motorcycle for Uber Eats.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting because my expectation for my time frame was a little bit different than my higher selves. And I was hoping to be done with this Uber Eats chapter like the beginning of this month. And I quit. I said, okay, I'm gonna allow money to come to me in other ways, my passions, so my healing work and my video creations. And so I had some money saved up, and I got to the end of the money. The money ran out, and I said, okay, universe, this is it. You know, I'm open to receiving it in whatever form that I enjoy. Nope. I was supposed to do Uber Eats. So I went back to Uber Eats. And this is when the beauty started happening. Once I went back to it and I shifted my perspective of this isn't something I have to do. I'm being acknowledged that this is something that I need to do because it's much bigger than I am consciously aware.
Yeah, I know. I know because when you started to talk about the Uber when driving out food, I saw these light pillars connecting to every stop you were making. So you were actually anchoring in energy wherever you go. So yes, of course you're meant to do this beautiful healing work for now.
For now. Mm-hmm. And you know, it was interesting. Just this week, I've been saying yes to gifts. Gifts are coming to me left and right. Two friends of mine were in Starbucks after I delivered something, and they said, "You look like you need a coffee." And you know what? I wasn't drinking coffee, but I said, yeah, you know what? Okay, I'll have a mocha. They bought me a mocha, and I gave them 90 minutes of time. And it was 90 minutes for me as well. And I sat there having so much fun, sipping my mocha and enjoying beautiful conversation with my friends. And then afterwards, this was funny. After that, I went back to work and the Uber Eats app didn't work. I said, oh, huh, maybe I shouldn't work. I think I'll take the afternoon off. I went home and I started my screenplay.
Yeah.
And it was flowing. And I had so much fun. So these gifts that come to us are incredible. And I'm going to tie that to, as we say yes to ourselves and our gifts, and we start to share that in a bigger way. That's us seeing the beauty in ourselves. And that's us stepping into allowing ourselves to be seen more, heard more, and loved more. And so it just builds upon itself. And I had an Uber Eats delivery. So it's funny, sometimes when we override what the universe is wanting us to do, like we try to control. So I said, I like this little area of Huntington Beach. I'm just going to stay in this area. So I'm not going to take the orders that are going to take me out of the area. Well, I pressed the button to accept a delivery and it took me out of the area. And I laughed. I said, I get it. I need to just allow the universe to give me direction to where I'm supposed to go. So
Yeah.
I'll allow. So where it took me was this place that is an old Boeing. I feel aeronautics connected to this. I feel Elon. I feel SpaceX. I feel this in this area. And I was delivering to a gal who is at Amazon, this huge Amazon complex, which was right next to Boeing. And I could feel what was underneath. And I know that I'm sent to these areas specifically to work with these energies and bring light to these areas that are working with they're helping to balance. We still live in a world of duality. So as we get brighter and lighter, there has to be balance as well. So these beautiful souls who have taken on the darker roles, bless their souls, because it retards their soul growth. It is a sacrifice they're giving to us. So I know a lot of people don't like to look at heaviness, darkness, whatever it is. We don't need to set up camp there. I mean, we all have shadow, but it's okay to see the beauty in it. It's okay for that, because it is helping us. So I do feel, so I giggled when I went to Amazon, and it was right next to the old Boeing complex and their new aeronautics space buildings going up for the new whatever they're building. It's so exciting.
Yeah, I get a little bit of curiosity here, because I do know you're a very, very spiritual person, and
Yes.
you have beautiful high vibrational energy, and I just love everything about you. So now when you are moving around and you enter a space like you did right now, do you get into a mood of remote viewing so you can, see what you're actually working with, or is the energy just working?
Okay, I love that you asked that question, because I've never considered myself a remote viewer, but really, if I look at it, I get visions. So I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
am kind of a remote viewer. And
I think that is why
so,
you're a time traveler.
yes, and I have to share,
Please do.
uh, and I knew this conversation would cover so many different topics because it's so much fun that way.
Mm.
But when I lived in Glendale, my old boyfriend brought my kids and I to his home there. We moved into his home. It was 3 houses there, and it was over this beautiful, beautiful canyon. And in the canyon, so I was blessed where he liked to work a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it helped me go within. So I found time for myself to go on the mountain, and I would meditate on this particular spot under a pine tree every day. And I could feel what was inside the mountain, that it was connected to JPL, which is Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, which is NASA.
Oh,
It's
wow.
NASA. And
Wow.
I could feel underground complex that went deep. And
Yeah.
I could feel ETs. I could feel reptilians. And I could feel myself working with them in dream state.
Yeah.
And I could feel me teaching them love, the ones who were ready.
Oh, wow.
Oh yes, and it was big, and that came up in one of my. I do quantum healing hypnosis technique work, Dolores Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So I became a practitioner in 2015, just after Dolores passed on, and I feel her in every session. But when I was doing session swaps with other practitioners, uh, I saw that very clearly.
Mm.
Saw that very clearly, and
I guess
those topics.
quantum field actually, I just love quantum,
I
the
love.
word quantum, because everything is in that space of quantumness. So wherever you go, you are using something in the quantumness. So yeah, totally love it. I didn't know that you actually were a quantum healer from Dolores Cannon, but I love it. I do.
Yes,
I do love it.
yes. I
So
love that too. And it was so interesting. I got confirmation for that mountain because I took one of my girlfriend, Gloria, she and her daughter, and my daughter, Alana, and I, up on the mountain where I meditated. And her daughter, Michelle, at age 10, she said, Mommy, I feel something in this mountain. And my ears perked up. I was so excited because here was a pure source.
Mm.
sharing, confirming what I felt was inside this mountain. She said, there are tunnels everywhere here. And then we got to the top where I meditated. Oh, that's funny. So there's a helicopter here. Helicopters follow me.
Yeah. They are onto your
I love,
remote viewing.
that's really funny.
Uh,
They're in a circle now. That's really funny. And then because at that spot, helicopters used to follow me as well when I used to meditate there. And my friend passed me when he was walking his dog. And just then a helicopter went past and turned around and started following me. The next time I saw him, he said, Nicole, the last time I saw you, I went home and told my wife, there is a girl on the mountain and helicopters follow her. So that was confirmation. But Gloria said, do you want to know why you meditate right here? I said, yes, I do. She said, this is an apex of an underground pyramid.
Oh.
And I said, oh my gosh, I feel the energy now that you say that. And I use that in every single one of my sessions for QHHT.
Oh.
I take the client into that underground pyramid, and that is their vehicle. So they go wherever they need to go to find out what they need to find out.
That is so interesting because, you know, I do know that have a strong connection with Egypt and whatever is
Mm.
going on there, and you
Mm.
have lived your past life there too, and you're well familiar with the energy and the magical stuff that is connected there. And I don't know which incarnation you did have, but I do know that you have had an incarnation there. But when I tune into you and your, you know, who you are, this topic of Egypt was brought up again, and I tried to push that away because, you know, it felt like I have already read it, so that is, you know, my mind playing me a game. But it's still there connected to pyramids. And here you are talking now about pyramids that are not connected to Egypt in the physical way. So there's the energy anyway. So this is something that you are supposed to develop more here. So please continue.
Thank you so much for that confirmation, baby, because my father was born in Cairo.
Mhm.
So that is my physical connection. And he was raised in a town called Heliopolis, Sun City. I feel very connected to the sun. And I was pulled to go to Egypt 3 times on the equinoxes in 2017 spring, all the way through fall 2018, every 6 months. And it was such, I, so I was called. I didn't have the money to go, but I listened to the call and I showed up. The first time my girlfriend, Lorraine, invited me. So this was the interesting part. When I said yes, in 2016 was my dark night of the soul. My chapter in this house in Glendale was done. My boyfriend and I broke up. He moved out. And then it was time for the kids and I to move out. Now, Pablo, my ex-husband, wanted the kids. And so he took the kids, and I was in between homes after that. So my income stream came to zero. So I said, okay, I'm packing up my motorcycle. I'm giving everything away, and I'm hitting the road. And Joshua Tree called me. So I went to Joshua Tree, and I was in my tent for 4 months in the Joshua Tree National Park.
Wow.
And I had, we could talk for hours, but such amazing experiences happened to me there. But after I went through my dark night of the soul of being away from my children, which triggered so many past life things and the cosmic mother and humanity as children. So I started receiving travel invitations because now I was no longer a single mother needing to stay at home with the children. Pablo had them. And so my girlfriend Lorraine said, I want to shoot a movie in Africa, 3 women on motorcycles raising awareness for African wildlife. I said, I'm in, girl, let's go. So it was the first time I had gone to Africa. And she says, "You're going to go to Egypt while you're here, right?" And I said, "Well, I can't swing it, baby." She said, "I am buying your ticket. You're going to Egypt." I said, "I guess I'm going to Egypt." So I just showed up in Egypt, and I had put on the QHHT forum, "Going to Egypt. These are the dates if anyone wants to show up." And there was one practitioner, Monica, who showed up, and it was just, and before I went there, my friend Lorraine said, "Let's find you an Airbnb before you land, so you have one soft place to land when you get there." I said, "That's a great idea." She says, "Oh, I found it. It's called the Magical House." And it's right under the Great Pyramid in this little horse-drawn carriage town. And I show up at this place. It was pure magic. And what I'd love to do is put some links. Is there any way I can put some links later
Yeah, we can post it in the
in
comment
this?
field. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the comment field because I want to share some of these photos with viewers because
Oh,
they
love
will
that.
really enjoy seeing some of these photos of Egypt, as well as a link to, I have one video of quantum healing that has the best of highlights of 4 of my quantum healing videos. Anyway, so I was in this little town in Cairo. Yes, to everything. I mean, that it was unbelievable magic and little, it's these puzzle pieces. We are all putting these puzzles together, whether it's our little individual puzzles or grander, greater puzzles where we all have a puzzle piece that we bring to the table and all put them together. So I
did you
uncut.
feel that something was activated when you were there?
Oh, completely.
Yeah, okay.
I did big work. In fact, while I was still in Eastern Africa, I was in Kenya when another practitioner reached out and said, "Oh my gosh, you're going to be in Kenya. Will you do a session on me?" I said, "Absolutely." And in this session, his higher self came through and says, "We have a message for Nicole. This is what she is supposed to do when she's in Egypt. She is supposed to capture water from the Nile from Uganda and take it to Egypt. And she's supposed to drop droplets in sacred sites. She will be
Purification. I
activating."
just got purification in my hand.
It was unbelievable. So, and I traveled on the plane with this water. In
Oh,
fact, how I bring my own water on the planes is I tell them I'm on a special and I need special water. Will you please just test it? So they have these little pH strips or whatever, they test it for whatever. And then I bring my water on. So I was able to take this water to specific sites. And I'll also put a link to this video, the Egypt activations video in the comments, because it shows me doing that. And see, it's always fun for me to see videos and see if they get what they get from it, if they're activated by it. But I know big work was happening at and 3 separate times.
I
So
can almost sense like it was a time loop for you. You have been going through that process once before, is that correct?
yes, yes,
You
it
know,
does feel like a time loop. It feels like healing something from ancient Egypt as well, and Atlantis. I get many of my clients were there at the time of Atlantis, the collapse of Atlantis, and they have saved sacred knowledge and they take it to ancient Egypt.
yeah.
It's
It,
just amazing.
yeah, it is. It is. You see, when we are talking, sometimes I get pictures in my head of what's connected to the one I'm talking to, and all this with the Egypt thing is like I see someone carrying a water, and I was going to say a tub, but tub is not not anything that you're carrying around, but a vessel of you're carrying a vessel, white dress, a vessel for with the liquid in it. So I guess there was a ceremony or a ritual that you have been doing before. So
My crown is tingling. Oh, baby, you brought up a great topic. And I feel us unlocking water as the key. It's not only a symbol, but it's going to be unlocking our future, the beauty of our future, water. And
Mm.
I've seen visions of my dream home in this community where the water sings.
Ah.
And I don't know if you've seen Dr. Emoto's work. He's now passed on too, and he and Dolores connect in the beyond. But his work with water, and that water holds memory, right? And so he did experiments. So for science, you can
Oh,
see
the frozen
the
water,
frozen.
yeah,
Hmm.
and how it reacts to emotions, and yeah,
Yes,
no, it's
yes, and how beautiful that is. But it also lets us know that our bodies hold so much water, and every emotion that we project gets registered in our bodies
mm,
and trapped. If denser emotions get trapped in our bodies from traumatic experiences, or what have you. And, this is what we're releasing now. And we're being called to drink more water during this very energetic time. And I'm experiencing dehydration. I don't know if you are too. I'm not drinking enough water. It's hard when you're there. You are. I forgot to bring my water, but that's a sign that I'm not drinking enough water. But we need to hold more water in us. And I got a hit the other day. I live in California and we have perpetual drought here. But I got knowledge. I'm going to hold on just a moment,
mhm.
baby. I'm going to hold you with my knees because maybe I'm getting downloads, what have you. But there, a little refresher. But I got a hit that California is experiencing a drought because our external world is a reflection of our internal world, and that we're not drinking enough water to solar energies that are hitting the planet, hitting humanity. So it's very important. So water plays a big role in what we are stepping into now.
Yeah, I can
And
see.
that was the information that I got the other day.
I totally agree.
So,
Totally.
and it is a key. It is a key, and it is helping to activate us. So, interestingly, I get water from this place called the Water Brewery, and it's alkaline water, but they're also very spiritual there. They charge it with love, and they play music for it, and it's really incredible. So I get this water and then I charge it with intention, and I have a little rose quartz uh, dodecahedron inside there. So I like to charge with that as well.
That's beautiful.
So I think setting intention for what we take into our bodies is important also.
Yeah. And that brings me to another question then, because we do know now that you have a connection with Egypt and that energy, and that you have been performing, how should we say, a recap of what has been connecting to what is. And the curiosity that is rising within my head right now is, how is that drawn to the pyramid that you visit, that was connected with NASA, and where she saw the tunnels underneath? I'm not going to drop that.
Yes,
So
let's come back to that
yeah.
now because it ties in with something for me there. When we lived in that house,
Hmm.
my daughter wanted to give me a gift for Christmas. She found a book on the internet when she looked up spiritual books. And I'm trying to remember Dweller on Another Planet. Have you heard of that book by
No.
chance?
No.
Okay, so I'll put a link to it as well. I'm going to try to remember all these links so we don't miss them. Uh, it is about a guy who remembers his lifetime fully in Atlantis in fine detail.
Okay.
And he ends up in Shasta, Mount Shasta, with Saint Germain. and also another book called Unveiled Mysteries. I went to my favorite restaurant and I'm going to come back. I promise you, I'll come back to what you're talking about. My favorite restaurant in LA is called Inn of the Seventh Ray in Malibu, in the beach area, in Topanga. And so Saint Germain is connected to that seventh ray, the violet ray. And so I walked into the spiritual bookstore that is right there on the property of this restaurant. And I said, I need to know more about Saint Germain. Do you have a book that I can have? He looks at me, and the guy's name was Ray, of course, Ray of Sunshine. And he says, I have just the book for you. So when we ask out loud, we receive. Okay, so he brings back this book, Unveiled Mysteries, which was all about this guy hiking on Mount Shasta, which is connected to Telos and inner earth, and the ET's connected there. And so he experienced Saint Germain showing up and taking him to past lives in ancient Egypt, where he was a teacher, and then brought him to the future. He is now stepping back into that role. So I feel this place where I lived in Glendale, in this mountain with the pyramid, and there was another area as well where I called it the fairy trail. I felt things inside, and like a crystal cavern in there. And I feel there was a place where time travelers were coming and going, and I would meditate there as well. So I know I was going with them. And
That's there. Yeah.
yes. And so there was also a portal where the underground pyramid was, that was into 5D, and I was working with that as well.
Did you go inside?
So when I meditate, I go elsewhere, and I don't have I think they prefer it that way, because where I go is too much information for me for what I have to do right now. So I actually don't remember very many dreams. I'm aware that I go out of body when I meditate, but I'm not aware of the work that I do, and dream state as well. So I know I'm doing a lot of work, as we all are. So it's just not time for me to know yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So I get little snippets here and there. And I did get that confirmation that I was time traveling. So I love that you tapped into that. That's so neat.
I think that is a topic that also is coming back to humanity, that we are using time traveling a lot in our dream states, and
Yeah.
we need to be aware that we actually are doing that
Yes.
in our conscious way too. Every time we daydream or drift off in our minds, we are in another space of time. So we are drawing it back to each other, or not to each other, but drawing back that energy within. So we are jumping through dimensions in this time and this area. So I also want to know about the ETs that you said you were teaching love. So you do have a picture of them in your mind.
So
No.
they only come through in my sessions clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that I work with reptilians and the mantids that I did in the past. I don't know if I do so much now, but I did in the past. And one particular session that I had that was that I asked about the underground military complex and me working with the reptilians there. And I was taken there, and I saw the reptilians enslaved in shackles. And I went, wait, my conscious mind was jumping in and saying, no, that's not right, because it's usually the other way around. And then I saw the mantids were enslaving them. Now, when this information comes through, we have to take it with a grain of salt. They could be metaphors. They might not be so literal. What it did show me was this. because I was filled with this sort of rage at the time. And I said, take me to your leader, to the ones that were enslaving them. Take me to your leader. So I was taken off planet to this mantid, or what I thought was a mantid. Maybe it was another insectoid. And I was so angry. And I have to say that the rage in me wanted to kill this for enslaving this race, or whatever was this injustice. And so I grabbed its head and I was trying to crush it. And I said, it's time. You unshackle humanity. And I was bringing it down to unshackle humanity. And this is what happened. I was telling the friend who was leading the session, I said, okay, expand my heart, bring in all the instruments, bring in the harps, bring in all the instruments. And now bring in Jesus, Yogananda. I need everyone's help. And my heart was expanding. And then I pulled this beautiful being inside of me. And the message was, it is me. I am him. We are one. We have shackled ourselves. It isn't any being outside of us. It isn't the government. It isn't bad ETs. It's us. We have done this. And with us coming home to the heart, we are going to be freeing ourselves from these shackles. And that's what I feel. That's
And
what
the
I feel.
heart is a key to a lot of things. It unlocks a lot of emotions and it unlocks a lot of secrets, and it allows to step into a higher frequency of love. And you have
Yes.
addressed that too, um, by opening up. Yeah, well, there's something about the heart that we need to talk about in this time, because I
Yes.
keep seeing the heart and a key. This is a
Yes.
symbolic thing, but
Yes.
you said before that emotion got trapped within us, and
Mhm.
when we are trapping the emotions, usually when you are experience those emotions, your heart is frozen. So the pattern of that image is kept within your heart. So if you are not ready to open up and to release that, to work it through, you will be stuck in a, how should I say? I think you know what to say.
Yes. And I love how you are describing that, because it is fully connected to the heart, these emotions. I never thought of it that way, but that's exactly what happens when we have an experience of a broken heart. We feel the literal heartache. And that's the feeling of the heart being open. But then when we focus on the emotions afterwards, then it closes the heart. And I feel a lot of us are unlocking those emotions, releasing those emotions that have been such walls around our hearts now. And little by little, we are feeling the heart uh, as it expands, as we release those emotional traumas. So yes, we are doing that now. And little, I feel my heart right now. And I love the name of your podcast and website, Heart to Heart. It's absolutely. And you know what's happening right now? This is beautiful, because I have beautiful little, I love that you're in it. I love that you're in it. He's beautiful. Oh, okay. He's going to his little, and it's why the wind was just having me turn around. So the hair wasn't in my eyes. So I could show this beautiful soul. I feel very connected to homeless people, because I'm in between homes right now. And I wish for them to have an easier go of it, because it can be a struggle. But I feel I spend a lot of time with, I gift my time to them, and money also. And we're all in this together. But I feel, as we were talking about the heart, is when he was passing through, and we are all connected, and we are all journeying home to the heart now, and helping one another do that, I think is important as well. And focusing on ourselves to allow that self-love to come through, and that love of self. And I don't know if you're experiencing any family healing right now. I feel for me that chapter is playing out through the summer, and then I'm stepping into a bigger chapter for this next year, but it may start before the end of the year. And I feel building community and stepping into the gifts of sharing through bigger writing projects and video work. And so,
Yeah, I do love to see what's going on outside in the world, because I think that is a reflection of what's going on in the human collective. So, yeah, I have been noticing and that the family structure or relation structures are once again on the, how should the hot spot. So everyone is
yes,
having some kind of issues or drama or healing process going on, and it doesn't always have to be destructive, but it's still a process that is going on for a lot of people, and a lot of releasing of the old. And that is so what we are do know what is going on right now. We are releasing the old, we are letting go of the past and stepping into to the future. We are remembering the past because we want to have the knowledge and wisdom and experiences with us, but we don't want to relive it. We want to go into something new once again. So yeah, we are experiencing everything in this moment. And I also think that is this process that people are talking about, the shift, and we are feeling it, that we are in the shift, and a lot of people is so focusing, and that's where we're going back to that time frame you were talking about. So many are expecting to go to sleep during the night and wake up in the morning and be in a higher consciousness, and it's not going to happen that way. It's baby step, but if we are looking in the earth time, it's a change that is rapidly progressing. And if we
yes,
are looking at a human lifespan, it's not, because it will take time for us to integrate it. And but I do love the process that we are in, and I feel so blessed that we are here, being able to actually witness it and be there, holding the light, and try to do our best. Because you have also mentioned it, we are here together. We are individuals. We are learning our own path, and we are following our own path. But we are in this together, and if we are excluding each other from this experience, we are lost once again in this duality. So it's a
yes,
paradox world, right?
yes. You bring up such a beautiful point, that any type of narrative that anyone is attaching where there is separation is just perpetuating that division.
Mm,
So to, there are narratives floating around in our world, in all sectors, even in the spiritual community. And you know it does, what you say is coming back to the heart. That's the common theme that is going to liberate us,
yeah,
and it's going to unify us.
yeah. And that will always also bring us back to what you started to talk about, co-creation. Because if you're not
Yes,
processing with the cleansing and purity, purging with inside your heart and unlock these old traumas and letting those go, you will have a difficulty to be a co-creator in a new world.
yes, very true.
So,
And
are you
yes,
have something to say about that?
yeah, we will be attracting those with common goals, but they're going to be hugely beautiful collaborative projects going on. And I see these types of communities being built all over. Oh, I just had a little bluebird land on a limb up there.
Dolores
Uh,
Cannon.
yeah, she's a redbird, but I also feel
Oh,
bluebirds. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it's Arcturian blue. Uh, Thoth from ancient Egypt was also blue. So that's interesting. But I feel these beautiful collaborative projects in communities happening where there's going to be a swing back to simplicity and living off the land and being one with nature and working together. It's like, when they used to say it takes a village to raise a child. I
mhm.
think some areas are going to be going back to that, and education will be shifting. So a lot of what we see now that I feel is collapsing. So all of the big businesses, healthcare, education, uh, economics, politics, everything is shifting. And what isn't moving into the heart more will collapse. And who knows how long that will take. My son is graduating from high school next month, and it hasn't been easy. That's another topic probably for another time, but also how parents, parents are dealing with their children who are struggling with the old paradigms.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not an easy one, but to help them through finding their own way, which we've leapt off the cliff, but we haven't really landed on the other side yet. We're kind of in limbo right now. We don't see how the future is really playing out, and we're testing our wings. We're expanding into our gifts and letting our wings unfurl. But trust is such a huge name of the game right now. Trusting our golden paths. I talk about the golden path a lot, and trusting that we are on them and allowing them to unfold the way they should. And sometimes we get excited and we want things to happen quicker than they are, but it's okay. We just allow the timing of it all. Allow the timing of it all. And however it unfolds, there's lessons and things we are healing in all of it, in all the timing.
So now you have been
Yes.
going through a lot of cleansing and healing process, especially, and you are starting a new phase in your life. So how does your golden path look for you? What can you see lying ahead of you?
So what I see is, it's funny. I look back at my life and every job that I've had.
Mm.
So I've been in real estate. I've been in Hollywood. I've been an entrepreneur manufacturing my own accessories for my motorcycle. I was a script supervisor on my path to directing. And I look back at all of these, they weren't happenstance. And one jumped from one to the next that was so different. I was like, what is going on with me? I can't stay with one industry. It's because I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to learn these specific jobs and gather them up and take them with me, because what I am now launching into in the future now will utilize each and every knowledge that I gathered, which is just amazing. And for those beautiful souls out there who have had such a difficult time in only this life, let alone other ones, but we chose these paths to help us expand our heart and feel more compassion for those going through the same, right? Same experiences. And it's why I feel so much love for the homeless people. And without that experience of not having a home, I wouldn't have felt the depth of that love and compassion so much.
Mm. So
So
how does that experience you are talking about right now? How does that connect with the the community that you were talking about building
I feel
or
that
creating. Yeah.
these specific souls who I'm gathering people now who are connected to my community. And when I talk with them about it, they all say, "Oh, I want to go there. I want to be there with you." I said, "Okay, okay, okay." I have no idea how it's going to unfold, but I see us filling this entire Borrego Valley
Mm-hmm.
with tiny homes, building these. I see 3D printed homes. I see solar. I see building permaculture farms. I went and worked on a permaculture farm 2 years ago, and I am now taking the baby steps to plant my own little gardens and planting from seeds. And these little baby steps that we take now are the literal seeds that we're planting for creation. We are
Yes.
creating the future,
Yeah.
and we are the creators. And it is so beautiful for us to be coming together now to create our beautiful tomorrow. And it is
I
happening.
can totally see that you are in the midst of this new community, this village. So yeah. So
And this is a funny thing about Borrego Springs. The water board claims that there is not enough water there to support. And so people are moving. And I said, okay, that's so we can move in. And they're allowing the beautiful, fertile farms of citrus trees die, which kills me.
okay.
Which kills me. But oh, this just hit me as we were talking.
Yeah.
As the animals go extinct, they're really just going to a higher dimension or frequency or what have you. Uh, and I feel that's what's happening here. Some of the things that are dying in the 3D. So maybe the water that is the drought, maybe that is going to support, the beautiful water in 5D. Who knows? But and in our bodies, we have to be mindful of that. But our light bodies are
Mm.
coming to fruition and are being born here in the new divine templates through
So
our new
in a
DNA.
way that is the creation of the water ceremony that you did when you were away. It's actually a pre stadium to what is coming here.
That's
The whole
exactly
thing
right.
is, yeah, I love it.
Oh my gosh, so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't wait to see how this will
Oh
unfold.
baby,
Yeah.
yes. And for you too, you know how much of your future are you seeing for yourself?
Well, I have similar dreams like you. I can see totally that we are. Um, I actually moved into my dreamed vision or manifested vision of how I wanted to live in a house with a small gardening. So right now I'm gardening tomatoes and you
I
know I
love it.
yeah, I do too. And I do want to have chickens. I want to have my
Me
own.
too. I'm being drawn to chickens. Yes.
Yeah, and the funny thing
Yes.
was that my neighbor just came here a couple of days ago and we started talking and she said, "Oh, I want to have a community where we could have chickens together with my neighbors." I was like, "Yay!"
Yes. Yes. I have a
So,
girlfriend who has chickens. She
oh
has
yeah.
chickens and she wants to be part of the community. So we are making this happen.
Yeah, well, there's definitely something that is changing within nature and changing within humanity, and we are in that change. As we said, baby steps, but we are paving the way into something new, and it feels really good. And how I'm going to express everything, I do not know. Actually, it's
I
an
know.
unfolded path that is lying before me, but I do want to be more visible in my community. I do love to channel messages and just being out there and do this meeting. I love those meetings. I love to meet new people, even though I have met you before. We have never had the chance to be in each other's energy. So this is
Yes.
so beautiful to tap into.
So beautiful. I am throwing my arms around you, girl.
Yeah,
Just beautiful you are.
yeah, and that
So
is
much fun for me.
amazing. And I do love the opportunity to go live, because you can connect with people all over the world. And
Yes.
English is the common language for that brings us together. So I'm still learning. I'm in a learning process. So we have to
Yes.
see. And my Sphinx just woke up there. There.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi, baby.
Mm.
Okay.
So I
So
also have
important.
my beautiful cat here.
Oh, the Lyrans are here. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love this feline energy. I feel it, baby, big time.
Yeah. She is actually brought to me from Egypt. And
we are we are connected there, honey. We are so connected there.
so
I
there is
love that.
beautiful energies pouring in everywhere.
Yes,
So
so true.
so do you have anything else you want to address before we close down here?
No, I would just love to say one last thing to everyone. And that is really, we talk about it a lot, and that is the love of self, but doing it in little ways daily throughout our daily routine, even though we have to show up for our daily routines, but to find beauty in those daily routines. It makes the mundane more fulfilling. And that is, we have asked for that.
Yeah.
So instead of being upset that we have to show up for it, to embrace it and say, thank you. Thank you, Nicole. You asked for this. You are receiving it. And so I can see it with a new perspective, and loving everyone else who are also on their paths, allowing them their process.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell them, I love you guys so much. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being so beautiful.
Yeah. Thank
And
you,
thank you,
Nicole.
Eva. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for letting me come on.
Well, thank you for being here. You have totally blessed my day, and you will bless the viewers who will look at this in the nearby future here. So, yeah, I totally love it. Totally love it. And with that said, we are going to post in the comment field the links to your YouTube channels. So because you have such an amazing videos there, and
Thank
you
you.
are a teacher explaining how things works, and well, it's just amazing. You have to go visit her YouTube channel and see for yourself. And you're also going to put some links there. And if you can't post them, send it to me. Then I will upload them there.
Wonderful.
So, so thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Angel. I love you, baby.
Love you.
Until next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, honey. Bye, everybody.
Bye.